Alright, today we'll see how do you create a multi-module Maven project with Spring Boot. Alright, so let's fire up Spring Tool Suite. So this is what you basically get when you run it for the first time. So what you do is, let's create a new project. Let's go for others. Let's create a Maven project first. Okay, we'll go with a simple project, that is the default Maven structure. Say next, give it a group ID, say com.mx example, artifact ID would be say mx example application, and packaging type has to be POM here. Alright, say finish. So you get this. Next what you do is, you create this time a Maven module and say next, create a simple archetype, give it a name, say mx example, let's say we'll have REST API, so we'll call it API, and parent project would be what you created over here. Alright, next, let everything be the same, packaging would be jar now, say finish. Alright, so next one would be, we'll have one more Maven module, we'll call it services. Say API or REST APIs would call service. Say next, give this one a name, mx example, say service, and we'll go with the default Maven structure. Alright, finish. Okay, now you have to give this API a reference of service, that is API would be dependent on the service. So just open this, there is a POM file, go to dependencies, say add. So we'll go with service, select service, so API would have service dependency. Save this. Okay, now to have Maven Spring Boot specific stuff, let's fire up Spring website. Just go to spring.io, download the template project. Here it is, Spring Initializer. Say generate now. Okay, let it be a Maven project with the latest Spring Boot 1.5.2. We'll say we want web for now and nothing else. So generate the project. Now it is downloaded over here. Extract this guy. Okay, if you move in here, you would see this POM XML file. Open this. So what you see here basically is that parent of even this template or simple project is Spring Boot starter parent. We'll put the same stuff into our parent project now. So our parent project is mx example app. Open its POM file, go to pom.xml, paste, that's it. save this. Then let's see what are the other configurations. Properties, yes, we would be working with Java 8. Paste even this one. Now these dependencies and the Maven build plugin will actually put it into our API project because that's important for debugging. So let's go to our API pom.xml. So you see here, this is there is a dependency section. Open this guy. We want only the starter web because we'll be working with REST APIs. So put it under dependencies section. Save. What else we have? We have this Maven build plugin. You know what? We'll do this differently. Just search in Google Spring Boot Maven plugin. Yeah, this Spring Boot Maven plugin. Open up Spring documentation. What we'll do is we'll have it include even the main class over here. So we'll take this, copy it and put it over here in our API. Remove what doesn't make sense here. Okay, save everything. Alright, we see here that this is pointing to Java 5 libraries, though this is actually referencing here, but it's just as a label it is showing over here. We'll change this guy then. Go to properties, Java compiler. We'll say no, do not use this, use 1.8. Apply, yes, okay. Now let us just Maven update everything over here. Say update project, update everything. So you see even the label changed to Java 8 now. Alright, next let us put up a main class here, the entry point. Create a new package, com.mx example, finish, put up the main class. We'll call it say mx example spring boot application, say finish. Now add those required, you know what, I think I'll just get it from here, the demo project. Open this, yes, and that stuff. I would even need these packages. Just replace with your class. Okay, it has to be invoked even here when you run. Great. Now let's create one more package over here, which would be about sorry, controllers. We'll name it say com.mx example dot controller. Let's have a class inside this. We'll name it say home controller. Though prefixing things with controller is not necessary, but this is just for convention and for other developers sake, so that they can easily identify that this is a controller. Alright, finish. So this controller is basically a REST controller. Let's create a method here, say string get first product, let's say, and this would return something like say Spring, you darling. Our string, this S has to be capital. So this would have a mapping path basically, which is called request mapping. Let us map it to the home or the root endpoint. Alright, save everything here. Now let's go to actually our service and we'll inject, let's create a service and we'll inject that service over here. Go over here, new package, say com.mx example dot service, finish. We will call the service home service. Let's decorate this with the annotation component. Oh, okay, you know what, we have not actually included Spring context into this. So what we'll do here is we will, let's go to Spring website itself, go to projects, say Spring framework. So if you need only the dependency injection or the basic stuff about Spring, you need to have this Spring context dependency to be declared. That's the only thing you need. If you need other stuff like Google Guava, obviously no project is complete without Google Guava, so you can include that as well. But for now, let us include only the dependency injection part of Spring here. So you see, this is created Maven dependencies over here. It contains the context, core, bean expressions and all. Alright, so let's go to our home service. Now we can annotate this with component attribute. Let's have a method here, public string, we'll call it get first product, Control X and paste here. Alright, now let us inject this service into our home controller. So what we will do here is, let's declare a private home service. We'll just call it, say, home service here. Annotate this with auto wired annotation. This would tell Spring that this has to be injected, and then we should get an instance over here. Now let us return what we get from the home service. Not get first product here. Too many typos. Save everything. Now go to your API and say run as Maven build. Goal we would give the usual ones: clean and install, apply, run. There is a build failure. Oh, okay. We got to define the main class. In our API over here. Let's remove this, and our main class is in com dot mx example dot, where is our main class? API source. I think I closed that. Okay, this is the name of the main class. Put it over here, and we are done. For once, since it is showing some Maven errors, just update everything here. See, this is only a one-time setup and nothing else. After that, you just write your own code. Now go over here and run this as a Maven build. We're getting an error here. Let me just fix this and come back. Alright, okay, the error was basically I had to run Maven clean once. So if you see some weird errors like your main class is not identified, so it basically means that uh, the way Maven has cached things should be cleaned once. Say you can say Maven clean, something like this. Okay, now so let us just run this API, say run as a Spring Boot application. So this is the console. So by default, the servlet container would be Tomcat in embedded mode, and port would be 8080. Okay, so let's go here and say localhost 8080. So this is running now. So you see, at the root of the application we have invoked our home controller over here, and its request mapping is just the home page. Alright, so this is how you basically set up multi-module Maven projects for Spring Boot. You can have as many as modules you want. Say this was a simple example about say only a REST API project and then a service one which is being referenced by the REST API. You can have one more which could be say for domain, another one for say framework core, which is the very usual structure of any project basically. Alright, so in the next video we'll see how do you change these ports, what are the options we have, say things like application.properties file, and how do you externalize configurations, and we'll also see how do you even change the servlet container from Tomcat to something say Jetty or Undertow. Alright, see you in the next video then.